Welcome back to the Stack Shack Sports Show. So excited to have you in today. If you enjoy this content, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of our uploads as we upload daily sports content. Let's get into the video. So recently we had a couple of big signings in the running back department. We talked weeks ago about running backs complaining about not getting contracts, not getting signed. Well, two big names just went off the list. We got Ezekiel Elliott going to the Patriots, and we have Dalvin Cook headed to the Jets. So two big signings, similar amounts of money, a little different, especially with incentives, but Dalvin Cook around the 8.7 million, Zeke around 6 million. So Zeke significantly cheaper. But I want to talk about who I think won this kind of signing, because both of these running backs, they were on the market. They were available for really any team to come pick them up. And these are the two teams that pulled the trigger. And I want to talk about why I think the Jets maybe made the better decision. So the Jets, we have kind of a breaking news story a couple weeks ago with Aaron Rodgers restructuring his contract immediately, really. I mean, he hasn't even played a season yet, and he's already restructuring the deal to give back some money to the team. Kind of this new era of Aaron, his new persona, I guess you might call it, as he's giving some money back to the team saying, hey, I want more playmakers. I want to win some games. I don't want just this to all be about Aaron. I don't want this all to be about me making money. I'm going to take a page out of the Tom Brady playbook, out of, Patrick Mahomes and some other players here. Even Joe Burrow talking about his new contract negotiations, saying, might want to take a little less money so that you can fund the rest of your team, right? This is a salary cap league. We talked about this a lot in the running back discussion on why I think running backs need to stop complaining a little bit about their salaries, because it's a salary cap league. You have to decide and be smart about where you spend your money. You have to pay everybody. You have to fill the roster, right? And everybody needs to get paid. So I think, personally, the Jets made the better call here. Dalvin Cook is, a younger running back, a running back who has been more productive recently, and they didn't get him for an egregious price, and they just got a bunch of money back from Aaron Rodgers. And I think it's very interesting. Let's look at, I'm going to pull up the numbers here, as the last 2 years, right? Dalvin Cook averaging a lot more yards, but really where I like to look, okay, a lot of yards, but maybe, you're in a situation where you're the only person getting the ball. Look at the averages here. 4.7 yard average in 2021, 4.4. Zeke, last year was a really rough year. 800, didn't even get to the 1,000 mark, and his average also went way down. So it wasn't a matter of just, he didn't get as many carries. It wasn't as much of a focal point in the offense because Tony Pollard was there. No, his average went down. Now, both of their averages went down, but Dalvin's is still 4.5 yards a carry. Zeke's not even getting 4, right? And if you're not getting 4, you're not getting a first down, right? You hand Dalvin Cook the ball, he's going to get a first down if you hand it to him 3 times if he gets his average. Zeke at 3.8, now we're flirting there. That's close. He's barely getting those first downs. I see a bad trend here with Zeke. Yards going down, average going down. With Dalvin, yes, the average went down, but the yards actually went up. So that just means he's being used more, right? He's getting more carries. And this is specifically rushing yards. And that is, a reasonable sign, right? You're not going to have exactly the same numbers every single year. But to see your yards go up, right? Your total output go up. And your average, yes, it went down, but not crazy. It's still well over 4 yards a carry. Whereas Zeke had this problem of, oh man, the yards went down, which I could understand, right? Tony Pollard comes on the scene. They're using him a little more. They're trying to get Dak, throwing the ball a little more. Maybe the offense moved a little bit away from Zeke. But the average also went down. What I would have loved to see is, okay, the yards went down, but the average stayed the same, or maybe the average went up, right? He's getting less carries, but he's being more efficient with those carries. In this case, that is not the case. And that's a problem, I think. The Jets, I think they got some offensive line problems. Maybe that would have been a better signing, but I don't know really that there's a lot of really high-end offensive linemen out there. And I would assume that Aaron, when he took less money, there was a bit of a handshake to say, I'm taking less money because I want you to get me another playmaker. And Dalvin Cook is definitely a playmaker, especially when you look at the Jets roster and the fact that Breece Hall, this star running back, rookie season last year, was doing really well, coming off of an injury, right? So he might not be really ready to play. Dalvin Cook is also coming off of shoulder surgery, but he should be well ready to play for week 1. So this is going to give Breece Hall a little bit of time to come back, give them a better situation where they can kind of share the workload a little bit, maybe prevent some of these high usage injuries that, Dalvin and Breece have struggled with a little bit already. So I think they're in a really good position. The Patriots, I don't know, this feels like a bit of a classic Patriots move. Can't really get the skill positions right. They never pay good money for anybody. I mean, they let everybody walk, right? Edelman, so long, right? Tom Brady wanted to trade him so they could play Jimmy G because he was getting expensive. Bill doesn't seem to really like expensive veterans. And I wouldn't necessarily even say Dalvin Cook is an expensive veteran at 8.7. That doesn't seem that outlandish, especially when you look at the running back contracts around the league. That's kind of middle of the road. That's not crazy for a starting running back. So if that's what Dalvin's looking at, yes, cool. You got Zeke at a bargain, I think, at 6, but you also got an older running back who's not been as productive. Now, I'd love to see Zeke really have kind of a resurgence. Maybe this is the change he needs, a new offense, a new system, a new organization to kind of re-energize the career. That would be great, but he just hasn't done it and been that productive guy over the last few years. If you even go back a little further, right, with Dallas and when has Zeke been productive, it's been since 2019 that he was really having those productive numbers. His best year is his rookie season, right? 322 carries is also the most carries he had, but it was also the highest average yards per carry, right? The most yards. He was dominant as a rookie, absolutely. Had, a little bit of a down year here with some, injuries, I think. Then he has a couple of really solid productive years, 2018, 2019. 2020, you start to see that average really dip, right? And the usage go down, the usage go down, the usage go down. 2021, wasn't really a bad year historically compared to, the year before, but this is when Zeke was your true productive player. You look at your games played, right? Yes, he was a little down this year, but he only played 10 games because he was hurt. These other seasons, I mean, we're looking at 15, 16, 15, 17, 15. That seems to be kind of the trend, about 15 games, 16 games. And his usage is going down. That tells you that the Cowboys aren't believing in him as much. And his yards are going down, obviously. Usage goes down, yards are going to probably go down. But the big key there is the average is going down as well. And his receiving numbers, they're not much better, right? You might say, oh, well, maybe he's being used as a receiver more. Not really. His receiving yard average every single year, I guess, except for here, but that's pretty close. Pretty much every year, he's going down. 6.5, 6.1, 5.4. His receptions way down in 2022, but still his average is not good. And that's not a great sign to see, that trend again. It's not just rushing. It's not just that the offense changed and is passing more. His averages are going down in all of this. And so that's that's a really bad sign, I think, for Zeke. Whereas Dalvin, right, he's pretty solid here, consistent in that, 4.5, 4.6, 4.4, 4.7. This feels like a running back who is still productive, regardless of whether he's, carrying the ball 133 times because he only played 11 games, or he's carrying it, 312 times. In fact, as his usage went up here, so did his average, which is kind of a cool sign to see. That is a strong running back that is still feeling like he's in his prime, still feeling very productive. Somewhat similar on the passing game. Last year actually had a really high average compared to the year before, almost a whole yard per reception higher. Has had some injury problems. Now, he did just come off of a 17-game season, though, so that is a good sign. Receptions staying somewhat standard there. Yards fairly similar. This year, a bit of an outlier, maybe this year as well, but still productive, still in that range. It's not a consistent downward trajectory. There's, some smaller years, there's some better years. If you look at his average over his career at an 8.1, he's sitting kind of close to that with a 7.6, right? We're talking about half a yard difference in average, and that's over, 39 receptions over that year. So again, all of this kind of to say, I think the Jets have the better pickup, right? It wasn't a trade, so you're not going to say, oh, who won the trade? It's who won this free agent signing of these two running backs that are big name guys, have had some very productive years in the past, should be able to energize, hopefully, a team. Both of them, I think, are good pickups. The Patriots needed a running back. I think the Jets, it makes a lot of sense to add another weapon, allow Breece Hall to come back maybe a little slower. I think that's a good move on their part, especially with the extra money that they've gotten with Aaron restructuring his contract. So let me know what you think in the comments. Who kind of won this free agent signing? I'm on Team Jets here for this signing. I think Dalvin is the better signing. I think the Patriots kind of cheaped out a little bit. Picked up an Ezekiel Elliott. Hopefully he's able to re-energize his career here. Maybe the Patriots can be that structure or that new environment that really just puts him back to his early career form. That would be great. I'd love to see that. But let me know in the comments what you think below. Thank you so much for making it to this part of the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like down below and share it with a friend. Get more people watching these. I want this discussion popping in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.